Is this the future of fish keeping? Welcome back to another Average Guys Aquatics video. In this one, we have a package from Higer, and it's going to be big. A little bit ago, we went and gathered some lake water and soil out of a lake to see what type of life was inside, and it got me thinking, what if we did this on a bigger scale? Well, Higer was here to help. They wanted to dive in on this project as well, so they sent us out their Higer Smart Aquarium in 10 gallons. Now this is an all-in-one aquarium that comes complete with a lid, a light, a heater, a UV sterilizer, an air pump, and an automatic feeder. This tank really does it all. So let's get this thing out of the box and see what it's all about. Well, this tank was packed nicely within the box, and it appears we have some extra accessories included. But as we get our first look at this system, you can see the control module right there, some tips, the automatic feeder over here in the corner. Now coming back up here to the instructions, it says only switch the heater on when the tank is filled with water. Follow the water level line on the right hand side of the tank. It's recommended to run the UV sterilization lamp for 2 to 3 hours per day. And it is recommended to fill the tank with water and wait a week before you put fish in. Now, as a personal rule of thumb, I'd like to double that time frame. This way you can be sure that your water is cycled and ready for fish. Moving on, as we open the lid and take a look at what is underneath, we are met with a light, the temperature probe, the hole for the automatic feeder, the filtration system on the inside, and the UV lamp. Another awesome feature with this filtration system, it comes with a surface skimmer right here in the corner. A surface skimmer is designed to float and take away debris from the top of the water. Now taking a look at the accessories that came with this tank, we have a water changer, a glass cleaner that is in a triangular shape to allow for easy access of the corners of the aquarium, as well as a net. Now what's cool with this net is it is telescoping, so you can have it either short or long for the deeper aquariums. Also included is a replacement filter media pad. Now moving to the back of the aquarium, you have your plugs for your UV light, your water pump, and your heater. Now when it comes to placement of this aquarium, I'm thinking I'm going to put it underneath my 55-gallon tank, but we're going to have to adjust the setup. The first step is creating a base for the aquarium to go on. Now, as far as colors go, I decided to go with an orange to match the lid of the tank and a black for the base of the wood that the tank is going to sit on. Now, the next step is to combine the container that my automatic top-off system uses with the tank that my mister is using for my terrarium, being that they both take RO water. Now, in order for me to combine both systems, I need to drill a second hole for the water line of the misting system to fit into the lid of the automatic top-off system. Now, for this project, we also will be pulling out our DIY CO2 kit. But this white base is going to need a refresh. So we sprayed it with a metallic gray spray paint to blend in with the CO2 canister. With everything in place, it's now time to hit the lake to gather some soil and water to begin this experiment. Alright, we've made it to the first lake. However, as you can see, unfortunately, all that white on the bottom of the lake are zebra mussels, which are an invasive species and illegal to remove from the water. Now, with this being said, it is important if you're gathering water and soil from your lake or pond nearby to check your local laws. This way, you're not doing anything illegal or potentially cause the spread of an invasive species or harm the environment. So with that being said, let's head on to our next spot to see if we have any luck there. And unfortunately, there are a couple dead fish here, so I don't want to collect anything from this location to potentially spread infection to my other aquariums. With that being said, anything used for this experiment will not be used with the other aquariums. Now let's move on to our third spot, which should have been our first spot, as that is where I gathered the soil and water from the experiment a couple weeks back. This location was perfect. Water was very clear. There were no sign of zebra mussels anywhere, no dead fish. So I'm going to use a couple of mason jars to gather soil and a 5-gallon bucket to get the water. With everything collected, it's time to head back and set it up. Now my one concern for this tank is the inlet to the filtration system being this low to the bottom of the tank. I don't want soil or the substrate to get sucked up, so we're going to use the foam as well as some rocks to kind of act as a barrier between the soil and sand. With the rocks in place in the filtration system, it's time to add the soil from the lake and cap it all off with some sand. Now to even out our sand layer, I'm going to be using my aquascaping tools from Higer. And I'm just going to be evenly spreading the sand around from corner to corner within the aquarium. With the sand all evened out, now it's time to add our hardscape. Now it's important when adding stones like this on top of each other that they're sturdy enough to where they will not fall over, potentially kill your fish, or damage your glass. Now we're going to add some branches that I gathered from the lake and try to figure out the best possible placement for them. As you can see, I'm working with a couple of different ideas to try to figure out the best possible placement for these branches. And ultimately, I decided to place the branches sticking straight up as if they were trees underwater. With the hardscape all set and the substrate in place, now it is time to add the lake water that we gathered in our 5-gallon bucket. Since it didn't quite fill this 10-gallon aquarium, we're going to top the rest off with RO water. And of course, since we gathered most of this water from a lake, it is going to be cloudy. But now with the tank finally full of water, we get to plug it in. And as you can see, the display lights up quite bright. The light looks absolutely amazing and gives adequate lighting. Now to make adjustments within each setting of the aquarium, what you're going to need to do is long press the setting you want to select and use the dial to make your adjustment. Now, as you can see here, we're using the dial to select the temperature we want our heater set to. Here, we're going to set how long we want our UV sterilizer to run. We're going to have ours set to run for 3 hours each day. And now we're going to set our 24-hour light timer to where our light turns on at 8 o'clock in the morning and turn off at 8 o'clock at night. Now all of our presets should be set. As you can see, we have our set temperature at 80 degrees. Currently right now we're sitting at 79. With everything up and running, you can see that we have a nice gentle return flow coming from the outlet of our filter system. Of course, this water is cloudy, but with the filter up and running, let's see how well this Hygger aquarium does. Now, another cool feature with this tank, if you do not wish to run a 24-hour timer on your light, you do have several different lighting modes that you can choose from by selecting the light button on the control panel itself. To include color changing LED lights. Now our tank has been up and running overnight, and the next morning it is already this much clearer. I'm so excited to see where this project takes us. As you can see, we even ended up with a snail that has come along for the ride. I think we are going to name this guy Gary. So follow along to see where me and Gary end up next. Alright, and we have had the tank up and running for about a week now, and it has cleared up drastically. We haven't done anything to the tank or the water to add to it to assist it in clearing up. It just did. So again, a huge thank you to Hygger for sponsoring this video. And with that, Hygger has launched their own rewards program, so spend $10 and get 10 points. Pretty much every dollar you spend gives you a point, and it's basically earning money back. Another huge perk to this program is that you can stack rewards. So if you head on over to Hygger, enter code AVERAGEGUYS to receive 10% off your order. You will also still be able to tag on your rewards that you've earned within their rewards program to that same order. Again, a huge thank you to Hygger for sponsoring this video. Make sure you follow along to see where we go next with this 10-gallon tank.